Well, Happy New Year, church family. 2025. Wow, it's hard to believe when we say it, isn't it? And New Year at Rankin Church of God means that we are beginning our annual 21 days of prayer and fasting. This is year 7 for us as a church to start the year this way. And man, it's hard to believe that now we are on our 7th year of prayer and fasting. But we're going to begin this Sunday, January the 5th, and it will continue through Sunday, January the 26th. We're going to be distributing our 21 days of prayer and fasting guidebook that you'll get as you come into service this Sunday, and we'll be talking about the details of what's inside here later in the video. But you can find all of this on the website and on the app anytime that you need it, if you don't happen to have it with you. So we want to just take some time to talk about what fasting is. For some of you, you've been doing this with us for many years. So maybe this is just a refresher or a reminder, or maybe just encouraging content. But for others of you, this may be the first time you've ever done a fast. So let's talk a little bit about what is fasting. Well, fasting today in our culture is actually pretty trendy. A lot of people fast for health reasons, but our fast is going to be a biblical fast. So a biblical fast is refraining from food for a spiritual purpose. Biblical fasts are found 75 times plus in the Bible, and some of the most well-known names in all of Scripture, like Moses, David, Elijah, Daniel, Esther, Nehemiah, John the Baptist disciples, Paul, even Jesus fasted. It's interesting that when you study the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 6, which is when he's talking about fasting during the Sermon on the Mount, he says this. He says, when you fast. And so that gives us the idea that Jesus just assumes that fasting is going to be a part of the life of a disciple and follower of Jesus. So how many of you would agree that life is super busy? I think all of us know life is incredibly busy, and especially coming out of December every year, it just feels like it's the right time of the year. Everything's kind of a reset, at the beginning of the year. And that's one of the things about fasting, that it kind of interrupts that busyness of our lives. Someone once said, fasting is making space for God in your busy life. And essentially that's what's going to happen over the next 21 days as we begin on January the 6th. It's setting aside things, food and other things we're going to talk about, to make space for God in your busy life. Now, let's think about this. Without being combined with prayer and the word, fasting is no more than dieting. Someone once said, you can pray without fasting, but it's truly impossible to fast without praying. So that's why we say so often, prayer and fasting go together. So one question, someone might ask is, why do we pray and fast corporately at the beginning of the year? And the reason why is because that's what all the big churches do. So we're trying to be like them. Just kidding. I've used that joke before, and I don't know if it's a good one or not, but that's the joke. And it's not the reason why we do it. I remember the first year I was lead pastor here at Rankin, 2018, coming into the new year. We didn't do a fast, and I didn't feel led to do a fast that year. But I remember coming into 2019, just really sensing that was something that we needed to do. And we began, our first year was 2019, and we've never looked back. Honestly, I can't imagine us not doing this as a church. I think our church looks forward to it. It's a part of the DNA of our church. And when we begin the year with fasting and prayer, it's like, as the year goes and God begins to bless and move and guide and direct, we've just done the work at the beginning of the year to set the tone for the year. And that's what prayer and fasting does. It sets the course for the rest of the year. It also increases intimacy and renews our relationship with Jesus. I think we will all say, as we said a moment ago, that life gets super busy. And sometimes if we're not intentional in stopping and making that time, then we kind of think, well, tomorrow it'll happen and next week it'll happen. But that's why I love these 21 days, because it sets aside time for us to do this. We call this a corporate fast because we do it together. And I think there's power in churches coming together at the beginning of the year, because you're not doing this on your own. There's people who are walking through this with you. Something else about prayer and fasting I think that's powerful is I read this several years ago, that it releases the Matthew 6:33 principle. We use this verse a lot around here, where Jesus said, "Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." And so Jesus promises us that when we put him first, when we seek him first, and that means at the first of the year, as we're doing with 21 days of prayer and fasting, that we know that all the things, all the needs, everything that's coming in this new year, whether it's April or it's August or it's November, that we've sought him first, he's going to bless us throughout the year. So let's talk about the different kinds of fasting that there are. There's basically 4 kinds. There's the absolute fast, no food and no water. There is the normal fast, where there's no food for a certain number of days and only water. There's a partial fast, which is a time of day, a series of days, or giving up a specific food or drink for an extended period of time. And then there's what we call the Daniel fast, which is basically no meat, no sweets, no bread, no caffeine, no fried food. Basically, you just drink water or juice and eat fruits and vegetables, anything that's whole grain types of things. It's called the Daniel fast because you find a fast in Daniel chapter 10 where Daniel did that. So our church family, the way we approach fasting is this. I believe that's something that you just need to decide between you and God. Whatever it is that you feel like you need to do, then do it. We don't have a fast that we do as a church. A lot of people will do the Daniel fast. It's a fast that it's not easy, but you kind of know the lane that you're in when it comes to how that works. The second kind of fast I mentioned, the normal fast, no food for a certain number of days, water only. Sometimes people will start the fast with that. Maybe one day like that, or maybe 3 days like that. No food, water only for that type of fast. But those are just some different kind of fasts that there are. And let me say this while I'm talking. If at any point you have questions about the fast, you have questions about how it works or what type of fast you should do, certainly feel free to email me or give me a call or text, and we'll try to do the best we can to help you with that. So those are food things. Let me be real clear on this. I believe, according to Scripture, that a genuine biblical fast will include refraining from food. However, as you spend time fasting, you may want to consider other areas to fast that will close out the world and draw you closer to God. For example, I know some people during the fast, they're off of social media for 21 days. Maybe they're off of certain forms of entertainment, TV, movies, streaming, whatever, video games, secular music could be one of those. And then if you are dealing with an addictive habit, and I've seen this happen many times through the years, maybe if you're dealing with an addictive habit like smoking or alcohol or tobacco or pornography or even sugar, sugar can be heavily addicting, then maybe you say during these 21 days, I'm absolutely going cold turkey, as they say, no smoking, tobacco, alcohol, whatever it might be. and I'm going to lay this before the Lord on these 21 days, and I'm going to believe that God's going to deliver me from this addictive habit. And I've seen people who laid it down, and God delivered them, and they never picked it back up. So as you're thinking and praying about what you're going to fast, I would say, think about something more than just food. What else can you shut out of your world so that when you're fasting, you're spending time with God? That's super important. So let's talk about some fasting tips. I just mentioned one of them, and that is to prayerfully decide what type of fast you want to do. This video is going to be released a few days before the fast. So that's going to give you some time to think about and pray about what kind of fast you want to do. Choose a plan as a family, if possible, especially husbands and wives. If you can be doing the same thing, it's always helpful, because then you can encourage one another. You're kind of eating the same things. And I would encourage your children to participate with the fast as well. It might be that they give up their favorite video game for 21 days, or they give up sugar, or whatever it might be, or they give up candy or snacks. But I've seen kids do this, and they certainly probably won't do it as detailed and regimented as an adult would, but it does help them understand why you're fasting and the importance of it as a family. Choose something that is a sacrifice for you. That is so key. If it's not a sacrifice, then it really doesn't mean a lot. And also make sure you choose something that works with your health. Some of you, there's certain things that you need to continue to be a part of your diet that helps your health. So we don't want you to do anything that's going to make you unhealthy. So make sure you do that. One thing that we've done through the years is to create a meal plan for those 21 days. Just write it out. Get your notes page out on your phone, or just write it on a sheet of paper, stick it on the refrigerator. And here's our plan. Here's what we're going to do over the next 21 days. As a matter of fact, one of the ways that we want to try to help you with that this year is we are going to have some links on our website to some Daniel fast recipes. So I think sometimes when people do the Daniel fast, it is a challenging fast, but one of the things I think that makes it more challenging is after a week and a half, you just get really sick of eating rice and beans, and you're like, there's got to be something different. And so the website is going to have some links to some fasting recipes that maybe can make that a little bit easier, and you can get a little bit more creative while still staying within the guidelines of your fast. Something else that's really key when it comes to your fast is to eliminate distractions. So we're just coming out of the holidays, and that means that you've probably got a lot of just junk food sitting around. It's a good time to clean out your pantry and just get rid of all the junk food and eliminate. You don't want to go to the pantry and have to go grab a bag of brown rice and have to see a box of Milk Duds or Whoppers sitting looking at you. So hide it or throw it away, come back to it later, eliminate the distractions. Another thing is to drink a lot of water. And I got a little bottle of water here as just the most amazing illustration you've ever seen, right? That just really blesses you. But listen, let me tell you something. Water is a faster's best friend. When you're struggling on the fast, if you're getting fatigued, if you're getting tired, if you're getting hungry, drink water. Drink water like crazy. Now, you're going to go to the restroom like crazy as you drink water like crazy, but it is a good thing. And again, water is a faster's best friend. So have water with you at all times. Another thing that you want to do is to get plenty of rest. Make sure you get to bed at a good time during the fast, because your body is detoxing essentially. Your body is going through this process, especially coming out of the holidays, of all the junk, and get enough rest, and that's going to help you. So something else, and I kind of alluded to this a moment ago, I've said this every year in the fast, and I don't remember who said it, but it really comes down to this when you're deciding what you're going to fast. If it doesn't mean anything to you, it doesn't mean anything to God. If it's not something that's a sacrifice for you, then it truly isn't something that's a fast. So make sure you keep that in mind. So as you're going through the fast, what can you expect? Especially if it's your first time, this might be a surprise to you, but you will get headaches, especially those first few days. If you're coming off of sugar or caffeine or you're fasting, coffee, you will get headaches. Be prepared. You're going to be miserable on Tuesday and Wednesday. I remember last year, Tuesday and Wednesday hit me really hard, okay? You're going to experience some fatigue. Be ready for it. It may affect how you sleep. Be ready for it. You are going to be super hungry. There are going to be times where you are going to want to eat everything. And you're going to notice commercials that you've never noticed before. You're going to notice that there are restaurants in Rincon that you never knew were there. And suddenly that restaurant that you thought I would never eat there, you're going to want to go try out their food. Just kind of expect those things. You're going to want to quit. Okay. There's going to be moments where you're just going to want to say, I can't do this, but listen, you're going to be okay. Your body is detoxing. You're going to be okay. You're going to finish the fast. And let me just tell you this. There's a sweet spot that happens in the fast. For me, a lot of times it's Thursday of week 1. You get through those first few days of fatigue and your body actually something kind of just trips in your body, and your body starts just kind of replenishing itself, and you're getting renewed energy because now your body isn't dependent upon all the sugar and the caffeine, and it'll be a tough few days out of the gate, but by Thursday you'll feel so much better. Something else that you can't minimalize when it comes to fasting is that fasting is a spiritual thing. There's no doubt about it. It is a spiritual thing. There's a lot of physical to it, as we just taught, but it is truly a form of discipline. You are disciplining yourself. And those of you who've followed Christ for any amount of time, you know, when you're leaving the old life behind, there's some discipline that comes with that. And so fasting is a form of discipline. Fasting is surrendering your will to the will of God. And one of the things that we always say is just be ready in the fast. There's going to be spiritual ups and downs. You know, I think sometimes we come into the fast and we think, okay, I'm fasting, I'm praying, I'm reading the word, and these are going to be the most incredible 21 days of my spiritual walk. You know, I'm going to walk with Jesus. I'm going to be floating in the clouds, you know, the most spiritual person ever. And you'll have some days where you're feeling and sensing the presence of God very strongly during the fast. And then there are going to be some days where you may just feel down. You know, you may feel that distance. And it may not be what you expect. Just realize it's just like any other 21 days. There's spiritual ups and downs, and the enemy will try to get in your head and make you think you just need to quit. And don't quit. Just keep going. I love this quote I shared every year from Pastor Jensen Franklin. He says, "Don't allow the enemies of your life to cause you to focus more on your appetite and your circumstances than the promises of God that are released when we employ the powerful weapon of fasting." So don't forget that as you're going through this fast. So you're going to be getting one of these 21 days guidebooks on Sunday. And on the inside, there are prayer points for every day. And there are the reading plan is there for every day. So, for example, on Monday, January the 6th, you will open up by praying for spiritual renewal and growth for you and your family in 2025, and you'll read Mark 1 through 3. Most days, you're going to be reading about 3 chapters, and during these 21 days, we're going to be reading through the book of Mark, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, and Luke. So we're going to get through 2 of the Gospels, and we're going to get through what I think are 3 of Paul's absolute best letters. So another cool thing about the way we have the fast laid out, the reading guide laid out, is week 1, the prayer points are all related to our Love Your City vision, to be a Love Your City church that hears his heart, shows his love, and sees his kingdom. So week 1, those prayer points are hear his heart prayer points. Week 2, show his love prayer points. Week 3, see his kingdom prayer points. And then there are some notes there on in the middle, just some events that you want to be aware of that are coming up. I'll mention that again here in a moment. And then on the back is a daily focus. And we've redone this a little bit this year, and we're focusing this year on the Lord's Prayer. So every day there's one specific prayer point we want our entire church to be praying together as a family. But on the back, there's the daily focus, and we're going to focus on the Lord's Prayer. We're going to focus on our prayer through the prayer of Jesus. And I won't go through that. All of that's right there for you, but that's a part for you to pray for you and your family and all of those different things through that daily focus. So some important dates here in the fast. Like I said, January 5th, we'll give all these out in the service. The fast starts on Monday, January the 6th. And every Monday night during the fast, we'll be having prayer on campus in different places. We begin on January the 6th, the first night at 6:30 in the Kid City wing and in the Life Center in the Kid City Clubhouse. Then on January the 13th, that night of prayer is focused on the youth and the young adults. So we'll be in the Life Center. We'll be in the Youth Movement Worship Center and the Young Adults Worship Center. And then the final night of prayer is Monday, January 20th in the Worship Center. And then we close it out on Sunday night, January the 26th at 6 o'clock together with a night of prayer and worship and fellowship. And we'll come together in the worship center and just have a good time of prayer together and fellowship afterward. Everybody bring your favorite foods, whatever you've been dying to eat, and we'll break the fast together. Wednesday nights as well are going to look a little bit different beginning on Wednesday, January the 8th. All the adults and the students and the young adults will come together for a time of worship. Kids will be doing their own thing as normal, but we'll come together for 3 weeks in a row during the fast. The youth movement will be leading us in worship. We'll have about 20, 25 minutes of worship, and then we'll go out to our classes. And that always just kind of a time of encouragement, shot in the arm to kind of get the season going. So there it is, 21 days of prayer and fasting. And we're expecting a great time as we launch a new theme as well for the year. You'll have to be here on Sunday, January 5th to hear about that one. And so let me leave you with this word of advice. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Another great Jensen Franklin quote. I'll give him credit for that because that's his. But we're going to have a great experience as a church together. So thank you for being on this journey with us. Again, if you have any questions, call us or email us or text us. And thank you for being a part of all that God's doing in this year where we're just believing God's going to do amazing things once again at Ringing Church of God. God bless you.